What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another episode of my What If Pokemon Were in Monster Hunter series. And as you can see here, the first Pokemon I am redesigning in this video is Sandslash. I know I've seen a couple of people ask for Sandslash in the past. I already thought it would be a pretty cool Pokemon to redesign for Monster Hunter, so here we have it now. You can see here I'm coming up with a sketch. This one I had to come up with a few different iterations. Here you can see, for reference, I put up Volvidon because, I mean, Volvidon was the most obvious monster to kind of use for Sandslash because it's very similar in the fact that, you know, it'll curl up into a ball and all that kind of stuff. So you can also see down there I made like a little bipedal sketch of Sandslash. I was just trying to figure out what I want to do with it because, you know, it's Sandslash doesn't even have like a nose, or you can't really see its mouth much in the Pokemon design. And, you know, it's very, very simple. So with the face, I kind of had to figure out like what I wanted to do just to make it look more Monster Hunter. Like, honestly, ends up kind of turning out, the face here almost ends up looking like Zinogre a little bit, which I didn't notice till like the very end. I was like, you know, it kind of looks like Zinogre, but whatever, nonetheless. So finished the rough sketch there. Now you can see I'm doing the clean pencil work here. The way I figured it would work in Monster Hunter is like when you would come upon Sandslash, like those barbed, I guess they're not quills, like those kind of armored platings on its back, they would kind of be a little bit more like flat upon its back, so it would look a little bit more like an actual pangolin. And then whenever it feels, you know, threatened, that's when those armor plates would kind of flare out, so, kind of similar to like Seregios or something, like, you know, like those, like the scale plates would flare out and everything, to try to intimidate, you know, whatever creature stumbled upon it or whatever. So, like, you know, when you come into the fight, as soon as the battle happens, you engage it, then all hell breaks loose, type of thing. And obviously, it would curl up into a ball and roll around and do all that kind of stuff like Volvidon would. But also, since, you know, Sandslash is like a, you know, it digs and it burrows, it would be kind of also similar to like a Diablos, where it would also tunnel in the ground, pop up from underneath and everything. So I feel like that would be a pretty cool mechanic where it has both the rolling around all over the place, bulldozing through you, and then also tunneling underneath and popping up from under the ground. Here you see I'm just throwing in the colors. It was fun drawing this one here, doing all just doing all the little scales and all that kind of stuff. I actually enjoyed. You can also see I ended up throwing a little bit extra coloration because Sandslash, you know, it's only got the yellow, brown, and then like the white underbelly. So you can see on like the smaller scales on the claws and even like the bottom jaw and everything, I kind of gave it like a lighter shade of brown versus the armored plated scales on the back. Yeah, we're just throwing in the shading here. Nothing crazy. Had a fun time drawing this one. I don't really have too much else to say. I mean, obviously, you know, it'd be a desert dwelling monster, you know, wild spire waste type of thing. It wouldn't be, you know, rolling around in any jungles or anything. But yeah, so let's just let the rest of this drawing play out here, and then once it's all finished up, I'll wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, and here you have the completed entry here for Sandslash, the Desert Roller. Monster class is a Fang Beast, element none, ailments are poison and stun, and weakness is ice. Now what I ended up doing, not just this Sandslash, but there's also an Alolan Sandslash, so I made a subspecies which we will switch over to next. So let's pull that up here. And here we have Alolan Sandslash, or as I call it for Monster Hunter's sake, the Snowclad Sandslash. Obviously, color palette swap, and then what I decided to do was, at least around the armored plating there on the spine, you can see I threw on like those kind of glacial spiked coverings of some of those scales, just to emphasize that it's different. But also I figured in the Monster Hunter self fight, what would happen is when it becomes enraged, then all of those armored scales would become coated, and those that spiky ice. I just don't want to redraw all that on every single scale, so you know, you get what you get. All right, so Snowclad Sandslash, the rolling avalanche subspecies. Monster class Fang Beast, element ice, elements ice blight, weakness is fire. So that wraps up this one, and we will jump on over to the next Pokemon that I redesigned in this video. Alright, and now we are on to Typhlosion. As you can see here, I'm using Arzuros as the reference monster when I was coming up with this design. Here you see I'm coming up with the first sketch. Originally here, I almost went with more like a rat kind of look to it, but I wasn't quite happy with this. So what you'll see, I ended up switching over to something else. But what I wanted to do, the main thing I was trying to figure out was how I wanted to do the fire mantle, or around its back, because dude, I remember back in Gold and Silver when it first came out and we had just the regular sprites, right? Nobody knew that like Typhlosion, like the flames weren't always out. So then the minute you learned that they weren't constantly out and you just saw Typhlosion without the fire, like, let's be real, it ends up looking pretty freaking lame. Like, I remember when I saw that, that completely killed Typhlosion for me, because when Gold and Silver came out, I was like, I'm going with that. It looks so sick. That was my favorite. But dude, without the fire, it's crazy how much of a difference that makes with the design, because it's just basically a weasel without it. So, but so as you can see here, came up with the other sketch, and then I took obviously Arzuros inspiration, but even like a giant ground sloth you can kind of see in the design there, especially with its claws. And then the face, I kind of kept a little bit of like the rodent type of look to it. I wanted to give it, like the bigger claws and everything, just to make it look more intimidating and fierce, because I didn't want to give it these little nubby toes that Typhlosion has as a Pokemon. And then what you'll end up seeing here also, I didn't want it to be just all like fur coated. I kind of wanted to do like how Arzuros is, where it's got fur and it also has like scales and everything along the like the feet and the arms. So you'll see I end up doing that as well. And the way I kind of figured like the quills on the back would work is, so it'd be like a porcupine, right? So like you hit those quills, like it'll fuck you up. But they could also, I figured it'd be like a cool, unique mechanic with Typhlosion, since it's fire, but also like the quills will be poisonous. So maybe it has some special type of poison where like you get hit by the quills and it poisons you, but after like if you don't heal the poison and you let it fester, then it turns into like this not like an infection, but like then it like like the poison explodes and it like combusts, and then you become burned after. So it's like, so it has like this weird type of fiery poison type of thing. I don't know, I just figured it'd be cool because, like, you have like Brachydios, which has this slime blast thing. So I figured maybe Typhlosion had some unique type of thing where you're getting poisoned, but then it can turn into a burn after, because it, that's just a concept I felt like would be cool. And then you can see here I'm throwing in like some colors for like the claws, like that kind of reddish brown color, which I kind of stole from Arzuros, just to expand the color palette here. I like the way it looked. So here you can see I am tediously coloring every little quill there, so this will take a little bit of time. But yeah, I like the way this one turned out a lot, surprisingly. Honestly though, you'll see when I do the scaling, that was like the main design thing that was holding up the design for me. It took the longest because I wasn't quite sure how I would go about, whether I would like draw on the scales or whether I would just paint them in. So you'll see here shortly when I start doing that. I'm just putting on the color flats here first still. See, alright, so here we go. I'm starting to kind of individually paint them like this, and then you'll see I end up going away from this and switching it up a couple different times. So painting like that is tedious, dude. It's so tedious. I hate doing scales, man, but it just makes it look so much cooler when you do scales. So I just gotta suck it up and do it, So now you can see here I'm kind of sketching them in loosely to kind of get a layout there of how I want them to be. Also, you'll see that its underbelly there, I changed some of the color flats to the regions where it has the armored scales. I make the skin color a little bit darker there, and then it's just like the underbelly. I keep like the lightish, the very light yellow. So like here you can see I'm doing that now. Painting them in again, man. But then this, after I did this, that's I like the way this started looking. So like what I did was I painted that color, right, that orange color, and then I took the eraser and basically used the eraser to draw in all those scales. And I think that's going forward. That's gonna make the best bet for me to go about that. Now you can see here I'm just throwing in some yellows and reds into the quills there just to make them look more fiery. Throwing in all the shading now and all that kind of stuff. So definitely like the way this one turned out. Like when it first started off, I wasn't sure, but by the end of it, I think it looks pretty cool. So just about down here. We'll wrap it up shortly. And I also changed the line art color there around the quills just to kind of make them look a little bit more inflamed. Now I'm just adding all the flavor text into it, and now we have the finished piece for Typhlosion, the Burning Quilled Beast, Monster Class Fanged Beast. Element Fire. Elements are Fire, Blight, and Poison, like I said earlier, and weakness is Water. Well, that's it for this episode, folks. It's a little bit shorter than normal, but I had these ready and I wanted to get them posted up. So do me a solid, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments down below which of these you like the most, and if you have any Pokemon you'd like to see me redesign, comment down below and I might get to them. If you want to guarantee that I end up redesigning whatever Pokemon you like, any super thanks donation of $10 or more, I will be sure to do that redesign and post it up on YouTube for you. So just a little bit of just a little way for me to make a little side income here while I'm going about doodling all these for you. So yep, that's it for me. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace out.